I'm your huckleberry.
Dudes, I bought a suppressor. Now, I'd been wanting a suppressor since I was about 7 years old, played GoldenEye on the N64 for the first time, so I finally got one. This is the Dead Air Wolfman, chambered in 9mm. It is a 9mm can, but it's also rifle rated for 223, 7.62, 300 blackout, 7.62 by 39, not 308. 300 blackout, 350 legend, 357 mag. It's kind of a do-all can. And I thought about it for a long time. I did a little bit of research. I watched a bunch of videos on YouTube before determining which one I wanted to buy. And this is the one I settled on. I want to go ahead and talk about it. Now, I have already packed the original box up in storage, but I want to show you everything that come with it, break it down, show you guys all the features of it. Then we're going to go test it out on a bunch of different guns. So when you buy the can originally, you do get the can. You get and I got the Key Micro version. So I did get a Key Micro hub adapter as well as one Key Micro muzzle brake. Total cost for the suppressor with the Key Micro adapter and the muzzle brake was right at $1,000. Factoring your tax stamp, your sales taxes, it was about $1,300 out the door with one brake. Now I did find some other Key Micro flash hiders that I picked up. I got those from Borelli. They were about $60 a piece. So I did get 4 of those. And then if you want to put this on a pistol, which of course you do, you're also going to need the Dead Air pistol booster and a piston to fit whatever thread pattern you're going to be running it on. This, with the piston, I got at Joe Bob Outfitters. This was roughly another $200. So when you factor all that in, you got $1,300 for the can, $200 for the booster with the piston, and another $240 roughly in muzzle brakes or flash hiders. You're going to be looking $1,700, $1,800 for everything that you're going to need. Now let me show you what all comes with this. Like I said, the original box is very simple. I will annotate a photo of it here so you can see what the box looks like that the suppressor comes in. This is the box I've set up for it. This is one of the Apache 2800 cases from Harbor Freight. I do have to get some, what's this shit called? Plastidip. We're going to seal the foam later today and go ahead and make this now that I've got the box kind of laid out how I want it. So in my suppressor box, I do have my Dead Air Wolfman. The spanner wrenches that come with the Wolfman, which you will need for disassembly. You have an end cap tool. This also comes with the Wolfman. You have your wipe adapter, and it does come with one wipe. So in order to use that, I'll show you in a minute, but I will say, if you pick up some 3/4 sink washers, they are made of rubber as well. They are pretty much the exact same size, and you can grab those at Lowe's and on Amazon. I will annotate a photo of that ad somewhere in here so you know which ones to get, but these do work as well. I've already tested them. Of course, this did not come included with the can, but again, this is the pistol booster and the piston for 1/2x28. On my second layer in the box, I just have the tools that you'll need to mess around with this. I'm going to get a different adjustable wrench to put in this box. This is like my main adjustable wrench that I use. This comes in handy when you're shooting this, and you notice you cannot break your Key Micro hold. You can just grab it like that and release that ratcheting system. Sometimes when you're shooting it and it gets hot, that does happen. So having a good adjustable wrench in your box is not a bad idea. In addition to that, I also have a 3/8 ratchet and a 1/2-inch socket. The 1/2-inch socket is needed when you're installing wipes. It fits on that, and you thread this into the end cap. Again, I'll show you that in just a moment. So let's go ahead and put these back. I've got these down at the bottom because I don't anticipate using them a lot. But in the event that I'm out shooting at the range and I want to have the tools, I'd like to just have them in the box. So that is my 2800 that I've got set up for the suppressor. And here's the suppressor itself. Now the cool thing about the Key Micro attachment system is, once you've got your muzzle brakes or flash hiders installed on whatever rifle or platform you're going to run it on, it's pretty good and pretty quick to install these on the fly. You know, assuming they're not scorching hot. So here we have my New Frontier Armory C5 chambered at 9mm. Got the dead air. We've got one of the Key Micro flash hiders. You put it on. You see there's lugs inside the adapter. It will only allow it to go on in one orientation. And then once you put it on, you ratchet it down. It tightens up on the collar. It's like a taper system. And it is on there solid. To take it off, just turn it, reduce the tension, and you can remove it pretty quickly. Now, quick note on your muzzle devices, it is recommended by several people on the internet that you use some type of muzzle adhesive, be it red Loctite or Roxette. After a lot of reading and deliberation, I settled on this Roxette muzzle adhesive. It does withstand heat up to 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and once you shoot these suppressors, you'll understand they get hot as hell. So you're going to want something solid. I have not tried to take one off yet, but what I have read is that you can dissolve the Roxette by putting the tip of the barrel in some hot water for a good while, and then you'll be able to remove it. So it is semi-permanent, but it is better than red Loctite, because red Loctite only stands up to like 500 or 600 degrees, and it'll definitely get to 500 or 600 degrees if you're shooting for prolonged periods. So I'm going to recommend Roxette. And I have been shooting this quite a bit since I've got it. I just hadn't made the video yet. But Roxette's been holding up really well. I did notice before I was using Roxette, a lot of times, no matter how tight I thought I had the muzzle brake or the flash hider on the gun, I'd go to wrench off the suppressor, muzzle brake would come with it. That has not happened once since I put the Roxette on. Roxette was pretty simple. Set up everything how you want it. Make sure you've got it all lined up appropriately. I did purchase some alignment rods, which I'll show you here in a minute. And once you have your alignment rods set up, you know everything is good to go. You've already test fitted. You've made sure everything's going to fit without any kind of baffle strike problems. Take it off, go ahead and Roxette it, put it back on, and then check it again with an alignment rod to make sure it is solid. Okay? So for the guns, I did go ahead and put my brakes on. I put one on my 16-inch AR, my 10.5-inch AR, my C5, and my Kel-Tec RDB. And then I bought one of the 5.8x24 flash hiders. I put that on the Ruger American Ranch, chambered in 7.62x39. So I do have a few other guns that I still want to get adapters for. Just haven't done that yet, but I'll definitely be adding those in the future. Notable would be my AKs, definitely the AKP, maybe the full-size Bakelite AK. Haven't really decided on that one yet. And possibly I'll be getting one for my 20-inch AR as well. Negative side has nothing to do with the suppressor, but when I tried mounting the flash hiders on my Chris Vector, I tried every possible combination of parts. I tried shims, I tried no shims, I tried flush mounting it. Hell, I even tried screwing it on with the pistol booster just to see if it would solve the problem. But in every single configuration, I was having indicator with the alignment rod that I was going to get a baffle strike if I shot it on the Chris Vector. So the only thing I can figure out is that the threads are not concentric to the bore of that particular gun. Thankfully, I did have the alignment rods, and that helped me figure that out before I had a very expensive, potentially catastrophic failure with a baffle strike or an end cap strike. That would have fucking sucked on a brand new suppressor. So for the time being, I will not be running the can on my Chris Vector. I've already reached out to Chris. Hopefully they're going to send me an RMA or something, and I will send the Chris back into them. Anybody who has seen my previous Chris videos knows I was having problems with that anyway, with failure to eject. So hopefully I can get all those problems solved at one time. Now let's go ahead now and break down the suppressor, and I'll show you guys what each individual part can do. So to remove the end cap, you got an end cap tool here. You throw it on, and you're just going to unthread the end cap. Let's see if you can see what those baffles look like inside there. I've got a light. Hang on one second. Let me grab a light so you guys can see that. A light. All right. So looking down inside, And there you can see the baffle stack on the inside of the front extension. This is a modular can. So this portion here actually will come off. Okay, there's the back side of the baffle stack. And if you want to run this in a K configuration, you can run it like that. In which case you would just take the end cap, install it there, take your tool, tighten it back down. Now let's say you want to run it with a wipe. You're going to take your end cap, you'll take either your rubber sink washer or the one included wipe that comes with it. You'll drop it down into your end cap. Okay, like that. Then you'll take this, you'll start to thread it on by hand. Then you'll take your 1/2-inch socket and ratchet, and you'll tighten that the rest of the way up. I'm not going to run it with a wipe right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and push that back out. And we will not be needing that. I think the first thing we're going to do for testing, though, is I am going to run this in the K configuration. So I'm going to go ahead and set it up for that now. Another recommendation is to, when you're taking this apart, putting it back together, I would recommend getting grease. I'm using white lithium grease currently. This is supposed to be pretty good for high heat applications, and it'll keep your threads from seizing up on you. So I've put some white lithium grease. I'll show you that shit. I'll put some more on there. Why not? A little bit more grease couldn't hurt anything. But as you can see, there is grease in there on the threads. And what I'm doing basically is just squeezing out just a little bit into the threads. That way I don't get anything locking up on me, because you want the parts, you know, there's certain parts you don't want to come apart. There's some parts you do. So you put grease on the shit you do want to be able to take apart. That way it doesn't seize up on you, because these things do get caked with carbon. And you don't want to run into that. Okay. So there we go. Wipe that excess off. Let's make sure that's tight. And there it is in its K configuration, or short. So let's say you want to run this on something like your pistol. Here I have my TSUS 1911 double stack. This has been running this suppressor really well. So I'll show you guys now how you do that. You're going to take your spanner wrenches, and you're going to have to take off the key micro adapter, which means you're going to have to lock one there on the suppressor, lock one there on the key micro, and spin that thing loose. Like I said, I told you guys I was putting grease on everything. Alright, so once you get that loose, then you have your suppressor with no adapter whatsoever. You're going to want to take your key micro adapter. We're going to go ahead and throw some more grease on that as well. Okay. And what I usually do is just rub it into the threads. Make sure it is pretty evenly coated. Got it. Just grab a rag, wipe my finger off. And then we're going to thread the pistol booster into the suppressor. Then we're going to take our spanners, and this time we're going to go in the opposite direction. Wipe that little bit of excess grease off the outside. So now you're going to want this end to go that way, that end to go that way. So same deal. Going to put that there, that there, and just put some ass on it and tighten it down. Okay, so once you've got that done, you've got your piston already installed. You can take your threaded barrel cap, remove it, and now you can thread your dead Air Wolfman is. You can thread your Dead Air Wolfman right onto your pistol host. Now, how fucking cool is that? Alright, so guys, I've shown you all the different adapters, all the different functions. The only thing to do now is let's take this thing out to the range. Let's see how it sounds. See you there in a moment. Alright guys, we're out here at the range. We've got the Dead Air Wolfman 9mm can. I've got it attached to the TSUS 1911 DS pistol. And we're going to go ahead and start with some 124 Monarch ammo. Let's see how this shit sounds. Not bad. Definitely suppresses the shot itself, but you can hear that sonic crack. So what you're going to want to do in that situation, if you want to get it really quiet, we're going to try out some of this Federal 150 grain Syntech ammunition. This is a polymer coated full metal jacket, 150 grains. I think it's coming out somewhere around 850 feet per second. But let's see how this one sounds with the K configuration on the TSUS 1911 double stack. We'll go ahead and do 5 rounds of this as well. Loading magazines with gloves is fucked up. There we go. I don't know how that comes across on camera, but it's a very significant sound reduction there with that subsonic ammunition. But it sounds pretty good. I'm pretty happy about that. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and break down the suppressor. I got to take the pistol booster off. I'm going to go ahead and throw the key micro adapter back on it, and I'll be back in just a moment, and I'll show you how this sounds on a few different longer configuration guns, PCC, and a couple of rifles. See you in just a minute. All right, guys, so I've now put the key micro adapter back onto the can. Let's start off with the New Frontier Armory C5. Let's see how this sounds. This will only go on one way. Okay. There it is. So I've got it in the K configuration right now. I've got a few rounds of 124 grain loaded up. And out of an 8-inch barrel, this is going to be a little louder, but let's see how it sounds. Still not bad. I can definitely shoot it without hearing protection, but still not too hot to touch. Now let's go ahead and try that same setup with a little bit of subsonic ammo. So we're going to do the 150 grain Federal Syntech again, because that's the only subsonic ammo I have currently. I've got some 147 ordered, but it hasn't got here yet. And again, this is with the K configuration on the can. Let's see how this sounds. Pretty damn quiet. Another thing I've noticed, I've shot a few other suppressors at this point, and a lot of them I've noticed being left-handed, I get fucking gassed out. One good thing about the Wolfman and its extra volume, because it is a pretty big can, you don't really get that. You don't get a lot of gas back in the face, so I do like that a lot. So let me go ahead now. Still not too hot. Good thing about shooting 9mm, it does not heat up the can super fast. Let's go ahead and add the extension. Rifle is clear. I want to be clear about that. And we'll see how this thing sounds with the full-size can on the 9mm. See if it even really makes a difference. All right, so there's your baffle stack extension. And let's put the end cap back on it. All right, let's run through the same routine. We'll try the 124 grain ammo first. See how that sounds. right, so this is 124 through the full-size can. Let's see. All right, again, the shot is very well reduced. You can definitely hear the speed of that bullet, though. You can hear that sonic crack. So let's try it again in the full configuration. This time we'll use the Federal Syntec. See how that subsonic sounds. Check everything for tightness. I mean, it is crazy how much of a difference subsonic ammo makes, but it does make that thing not quite as quiet as the pistol, just because you do have the longer barrel. So you are going to get a little more velocity out of that round, but man, that thing is quiet. It's definitely hearing safe. All right, so that concludes testing, I think, or a little bit of the demonstration for 9mm. I'm going to let the can cool down a little bit. I'll be back in just a moment. We'll try it on the 5.56 and the 7.62 39. See you then. All right, guys, so I've got the Ruger American Ranch here in 7.62 39, running the Dead Air Wolfman. This is in the full-length configuration. We'll try it later with the K configuration, but with a full-size rifle, I'm going to want that extra baffling, so I don't really see a point in running it in the short configuration here. But we got 5 rounds of Wolf 124 grain full metal jacket loaded up. Let's see how this sounds. Pretty quiet. It's not bad at all for a rifle. Definitely hearing safe. Honestly, surprisingly quiet for 7.62 39. This isn't subsonic. This is full power shit. I'm pretty happy with this. It's definitely a lot hotter on this one, though, so I'm going to have to let this one sit for a minute. Then we'll swap her out. See you guys for AR-15. See you in a moment. All right, guys, so here we are with my 16-inch Stag Arms AR. Got it in the full configuration on the Wolfman. Let's see how this one sounds. Honestly, that is surprisingly way quieter than you would expect. I don't have any ringing in my ears. That can is definitely going to be hot after 20 rounds of 5.56. But I'm really thrilled with it, guys. No gas to the face as a left-handed shooter. That is a big deal to me. You certainly can get smaller cans for 5.56. But for the first can I've ever bought, for this being a do-it-all can, I'm really thrilled. This really makes me want to build a 300 Blackout now so I can see how that sounds. But, yeah. She's hot. She's made my gloves start smoking. Definitely wear gloves if you're doing this. That's what I'll recommend. But yeah, guys, for the Dead Air Wolfman, I'm really into it. Super happy I bought it. I think it sounds great. We'll see how it sounds on video when I go do the editing. But yeah, man, really enjoying it. This is how I've got my AR set up. Got the primary arms 3X Prism, a 407 CX2 sitting on top. Got the Streamlight ProTac, I think that is, with the pressure pad, and the Dead Air Wolfman. It's pretty much everything I need. I may end up swapping the trigger out for like a LaRue MBT, whatever the fuck it's called, the nice LaRue trigger. And that's going to be it, guys. there's my demonstration of the Dead Air Wolfman. Thanks for checking out the video. Thanks for sticking around to the end. As always, guys, drop comments down below. Let me know what else you want to see. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Leave a comment, like, follow, share, all the other things YouTubers say. And definitely stay safe. Take care of each other. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.